Okay, so this is for Saturday, October 11th at 7:04 a.m. And I don't know, just feel the strong sense of, just letting everything play out. Don't try to control anything outward. And letting my success speak louder than my words. Because, I'm not gonna mention any names as I do these recordings because it's just not necessary. They don't deserve that kind of direct attention or, recognition or anything like that. So I'm not gonna give it to them. I'm just gonna, speak on the situation itself, but I'm not gonna mention any names. So a certain individual that is, particularly trying to spread rumors about me, um, it's just a sense of, seeing the same patterns and not really like necessarily being angry at him. I don't feel the sensation of being angry at him. I feel more of disappointment because it's like, I thought he learned. I really thought he learned back from 2020, about 2023, mainly 2023 into going into 2024. And so I really thought that he learned his lesson about, not lashing out on people like that and trying to blame me for everything, expected me to provide and pay for everything while he sits on his ass and do nothing, sit there and collect. Because when he was by himself, you know, he had to get off his ass and he was complaining, contemplating like suicide and all this stuff. And it's not to make fun or pick at him, no, it's just when he had to face his responsibilities, he starts complaining. Complaining. And I'm like, dude, you're a parent just like I'm a parent. Do what the fuck a man is supposed to do. I don't have anything to do with, your own personal life outside of the children. I don't have anything to do with anything financial going on in your household, like bills or anything like that. But the simple fact that you agreed, well, we made an agreement. We talked about it, talked it out, and he offered to transport the children to and from, since I couldn't drive my car right at this moment. And yet, turns right back around when he gets into an accident that was his fault. He rear-ended somebody. It was his fault. And knowing the way he drives, I'm like, yeah, I can pretty much assume and could come to the conclusion that, yeah, it was his fault because he drives like a New York City driver in Greenville, North Carolina. You can't do that. Just chill out, take your time, and you'll be fine. But the fact that he got into that accident, he decides to blame everything that's going on in his personal life, his own personal choices to be in a relationship or another relationship, their financial issues because she's providing, he's not even working, but he's trying to blame that on me too. Saying like how I'm bumming off of, my family, my mother and father, and then um before my brother and my sister-in-law, saying how, I'm a bum bitch, I'm a psycho, I'm crazy. Oh, his dad thinks that I'm crazy too, which I don't even believe that's true because I know that his dad knows. His dad and his sister, his whole family knows. They too scared to tell him. They are too scared to fucking tell him that he's off his bunkers. He need to go see a therapist. And that's not me like being mean. Like, no, this is for his own mental health, his own well-being overall. Because if you can get mad at a child at the time he was 4, if you can sit there and get mad at a child for sitting on a toilet a little too long, start cursing him out, I'm like, that's a problem. multiple attempts to try to take the kids away from me, and none of them worked. Trying now with the iPhone and the iPad, turning off the FaceTime contact card so I can't call. They can't call me anytime they want, or I can't call them. And I'm like, that should not be the case. Because I highly doubt that the kids are going to scroll all the way in settings or look for the settings icon, click on that, scroll all the way down to FaceTime and cut it off. The kids have no reason to be in the settings. And specifically FaceTime, come on now. To turn that off. It's not in the app itself. It's in the settings that you have to cut it off. And the fact that after this recent argument on last Sunday? On last Sunday, and all of a sudden, the iPad and the iPhone was cut off saying that, the contact card is unavailable. You got to choose another email. All of a sudden, it's been cut off like that consistently, except for when, the kids are allowed to call or allowed to talk, as if he has some type of control over me. And that is not the case, because he did the same thing back then with the phone, the purple iPhone. He did the same thing. Try to immediately take that back. You know what I'm saying? Like, immediately changed the locks and went to go to the landlord to take me off the lease, which he's not supposed to do without my permission. She's supposed to call me. She's supposed to call me and verify that, yes, I'm taking my name off the lease. She didn't do that. That was illegal as fuck. But anyway, like, he immediately made those changes, so therefore I wouldn't have access to the house. But little did he know, by him trying to be malicious and change the fucking locks, the door don't even lock like that no more unless you do it from the inside. You can't do it from the outside because the door won't even close all the way. So I'm like, Try to do things and move out of spite, and then he gets bit in the ass 3 to 10 times over. Yeah, it really depends. Like, all them fingers he's pointing at me, he get 3 back in return. 3 to 10 times, or 3 to 10 times the number of fingers that he's pointing. That's the minimum that gets pointed back at him, is 3. But it's just the fact, like, it's just he just didn't learn his lesson. And it's like, even my dad, I'm surprised he didn't hear it, because we were arguing loud in the parking lot right in front of my mom and dad's house. And I know that if my dad was out there with me, my children's father, they would have never, he would have never acted like that. He would have just kept his mouth shut, got in the car and went, oh, thanks, hey, have a great day, and move on. But since I was by myself, he wanted to show his ass. He likes to show his ass when nobody's looking. He don't give credit to the things that I've been doing for the kids. The kids never went without a meal. They never went without a roof over their head. Whether it was my place, whether it was my brother's place, or my mom and dad's place. They never went without a roof over their head. They never went without a meal. They never went without a place to sleep, being able to use the bathroom, wash up. Their basic needs. He's bitching because what? Because all the clothes that they had, those were the same clothes that came from my sister. But yeah, but the fact that my children's father claims that, his girlfriend had to pay for school supplies for my son, my oldest son that just started school in kindergarten, his older half brother, as I think he's in 6th grade. But like, yeah, bitching about that. The fact that she had to pay school supplies, she's paying all the bills. I'm like, who motherfucking fault is that? Go get a job. If you feel like you really want to do something, or you feel like, your girlfriend is struggling, go get a fucking job. Go get a job. Do what you gotta do. Get a fucking job, bro. Stop comparing your household energy to mine over here. Even though it is my parents' house, it's peaceful as fuck. I'm doing what I gotta do in my own life, and I don't have to tell you shit as far as what's going on in my own personal life. Anything dealing with the kids, okay, cool, fine. But anything outside of that, Anything I choose to do with my kids on when the time that I have them, that is none of your fucking business. But I try to include him anyway. It's none of his fucking business. But yeah, he trying to control my life, where I live, where I work. I'm like, fuck no. Because then he can track my schedule. He can track what I'm doing, how long I'm doing it. And then when I have the kids and I don't try to keep them away from them, when he just randomly pops up saying, hey, can you watch our youngest son for a few hours while I go do this? I'm like, okay, cool. I don't mind. I'm not gonna reject, the company of my son. Cool, I don't care. But it's just a fact, like, I've been so flexible. I've been so like open to my oldest son starting traditional school. I wanted him to do remote learning so it makes it easier. But at the same time, I wanted him to have that choice. Does he want to try school out before we do remote? Because we're gonna have to at some point. But like his dad, pushed it. As I didn't want my son to get a shot. I didn't want him to get those shots. I don't like shots. But I was open to do it anyway. I was open. I'm like, okay, let him try it. He seems to like it so far. But that wasn't ultimately my choice. I just went along with it. Same thing for where, they live at over there. That wasn't my primary choice. I just went along with it. Because he lives over there right close to his dad. And they already connected to, the property management people over there. But anyway, it's just all of these different decisions where I feel like personally he was not ready for a relationship. That's none of my business. But to see like how everything is coming together now, he's not ready for a relationship. He wasn't. He didn't give himself enough time to really figure out what direction in life he wanted to go. And it's like me, I chose to stay single. Yeah, I wanted a relationship, but it's like no, it was time for me to focus on myself. And so that's what I've been doing. Now that I have a more decent schedule, which is leading up to me recording this right here and just upload it on YouTube. But this is a part of my schedule. This is what I had as my core focus for today, which is easy because today's Saturday. The kids in the bed still sleep. It's still early. But after this, I edit it, upload it on YouTube, and I'm done. I can do whatever the hell I want. But I have a set schedule. God doesn't want me to get a job, clearly, because that's the traditional way of doing things. That's the old way of doing things. I'm going into the new way of doing things where you can make money to just create what you normally love to create. That's it. And I thought, my child's father and I were on the same page, but clearly we weren't. Because he's still throwing it in my face, blaming me for everything. So I'm like, you know what? Call me a bitch. Call me a psycho bitch, a crazy bitch, a bum bitch. You know what I'm saying? Call me those things. I know what I'm trying to work on and create for the long haul. I'm talking about legacy. And he's worrying about the quick, like right now type of thing. I'm like, as long as those kids got food and they got their basic needs, they're being taken care of. Get the fuck out of my life. That's it. Move on. The marriage is done. Kindly walk the fuck away. Because I already walked away. You're not going to keep dragging me with you. Or dragging onto me like a ball and chain. He's become so dependent on me, he don't know what to do without me. And that's not me being cocky. This is fact. Because he don't feel that same thing. He don't talk to her about hardly anything. But anyway, that's none of my business. But I'm going to use this as motivation to let my success do the talking. And I already seen it, I already felt it, it's done. So, only thing I can say, like I said in my song Destiny, I pray to God in my heart to show you gratitude, but can't find another way to say thank you, bitch. Like, period.